Hello and welcome to Women Today. My name is Christine Amira and I'm the host for the show. Women Today is a platform that seeks to inspire, encourage and motivate the young modern woman. And today's guest is going to be very interesting, somebody you want to learn from. Her name is Miss Beverley Obatoyinbo and she's the MD of BAT Kenya. So welcome, enjoy, relax, watch the show, like, subscribe and follow. Thank you. Thank you once again, Bill, for joining Women Today. Pleasure. Women Today is a platform to encourage, inspire, and motivate young people. And it's a pleasure to have you on the show today. And I'll try and focus on not just the business aspect of you, but then also a personal touch, yeah? And maybe I'll start by asking you to tell us a little bit about you, something personal, also career-oriented, but reveal something today.
Well, I've been working out of the UK for almost 25 years. Mm-hmm. So a little bit personal about me. I'm married to a Nigerian man and have two sons who are back in the UK now, both professional rugby players. So we've been separated obviously since February. Yeah. Because of coronavirus, so I've not seen my children since February, which is not easy. Yeah. But they're a bit older, you know, but they're still calling every day and saying, "When are you coming back?"
How old are they?
They're 21 and 18.
Oh wow, grown-ups.
Yeah, they have jobs. They're people.
Yeah.
Not little people.
Not little people, big people. Yeah.
Yeah, they're big people. This is. I've been in Kenya for three years. It's certainly not the first place that I've worked in Africa. Yeah. So, in fact, I think this is the last part of Africa that I hadn't worked in.
Oh, in Kenya.
So, West Africa, North Africa, South Africa, and now here.
Nice.
So yeah, it's a lovely country. I really like it actually.
Yeah. Okay. So, what's like your favorite meal?
My favourite meal. If I'm talking more about sort of international food, I really like Thai food. So I would go for sort of a green curry, something like that. Okay. But at home, Nigerian food most days.
Oh, really? Really? Spicy? You like spicy food? That's nice. So, career-wise, what was like your first job? People right now are looking at you as a whole executive manager, but I'm sure you've had a journey.
First real job.
Your first real job. Even if it's just the shady ones that you did before, you picked up.
The shady ones I did before may well come up on the screen in a second. So I think my first job was tomato picking at the age of 14 on a farm.
Nice.
So since being quite young, I used to like to work and have my own money. Not have to ask anybody for any money. So that was a long time ago. But my first real job was after I finished my A levels, I went to London to be a nurse. Oh. So I am a nurse.
You are a nurse by profession. Nice.
Yes.
Okay.
By profession, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and I specialised in oncology, so the treatment of cancer. Yeah.
And how did you shift now into marketing and corporate world?
Yeah, so after several years in London teaching hospitals, I moved to the pharmaceutical industry.
And yes, I saw that.
So that was sort of the first step into sales and marketing, which was really, I found it really interesting and a very different sort of setup to the much more sort of structured side of nursing, this was a bit kind of freer. You know, I was a sales rep first of all, driving around London, and you know, so it's
trying to
quite
sell products.
exciting.
Yeah. Okay. So you're learning on the job, or is it that you also had to, you know, revamp your education and say, okay, now I'm going back to school?
Yeah. So I did a marketing diploma when I went to the pharmaceutical company, and then I came out of sales and went to look after one of the big brands, which was sort of first step into a more specific brand marketing job. And then in the late 90s, my husband and I were looking for the opportunity to come to Africa, and actually that's when a company called Rothmans asked me to go and work for them. So, and Rothmans and BAT merged later on to become the same company. So that's the history. Yes.
Okay. So when did you, at what age basically did you start moving around, you know, out of home, out of UK, trying to
out of the
push
UK?
your, for your career?
I left home at the age of 18 to go to London.
Okay.
So we probably spent 10 years in London doing various jobs. And then we left, our first sort of overseas posting was when we were 30.
Okay.
So my first job with Rothmans was in Nigeria. Yeah, I had a lot of fun in Nigeria. It was a great time to be there.
Yeah.
Even though it was difficult as a country, you know, they just had 2 military coups in the previous number of years. So the country was, you know, not in the best shape possible. But it was very exciting, and if you wanted to go and do something a bit sort of entrepreneurial, you know, and really sort of set the tone yourself, it was a great environment to do that. So, yeah.
You've been daring, hardworking, independent since you were 14. That's nice. Is that in Nigeria? Is it where you met Mr. Obatoyinbo?
No. I met him in London.
Oh, in London.
Yeah, we went back to Nigeria. So he came back with me.
Okay. Oh, nice.
Because of my job. Which is a bit strange. Yeah.
And now you're leading a whole BAT East African region, which is very good. And I was here and I was trying to interact with my peers around this area, and they had interesting things to say about you, which I found nice. There's one who said, sometimes I sit in high meetings, I'm awed by how she stands up to men. Okay. Another one says she sits at the table and no one pushes her around. Another one says she wears her class in an amazing way. You know, they had so many good things to say about you, and they say that you actually prefer to be called Bev, not Miss Beverly, I don't know, all those big names. Just Bev, just say Bev. So how would you describe your leadership skills?
Well, I think I'm quite an open, transparent leader. I mean, I really like leading teams and working with different groups of people. I think I'm quite resilient, so you know, when it gets a little bit stressful or tough, most people wouldn't really notice that maybe the stress might be affecting me, but I'm not really going to let anybody know that. Okay. So I think I'm quite energetic. I'm extremely positive. So usually, even if there's a problem, I'll be trying to look for the opportunity. So and I like having a lot of fun at work. And you can see that by the way that we
the office looks
created
like
this work environment.
Very nice.
Know, I mean, it looked nothing like this 2 years ago. It was really nasty.
Really?
And now we all love coming to work.
Yeah, because you're in an industrial area, but once you walk into BAT,
it's like an oasis.
Yes,
isn't it?
exactly.
Yeah. So that was the idea, that we created an oasis that was sort of very BAT. Yeah. You know, so it took us 2 years to achieve this in the building. And the idea is, you know, that along with the way that we approach our leadership at BAT, that you create a really nice place to work, you know, where people are happy to wake up in the morning and come and sit here. And you know that people have to work long hours because the traffic's horrible, so they try to avoid sitting in traffic jams and everything, so people are really happy to stay here.
And BAT won actually the Best Employee Award, so congratulations for that.
You.
You're doing a good job.
We've won it the last few years in a row. So yeah, we put a massive amount of effort into creating a really great place for people to work. Also a culture that is, you know, allows people to be themselves.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
I'm a big believer in diversity in the true sense of the word, not just men and women.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, diversity
nice.
goes way beyond that, and making sure that anybody will feel included in this environment is really important to me.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So basically, what drives you? You know, you've been from 14, as you said. You know, you started working, and then 18, you're
I don't really know. I mean, I think if I knew that, I'd have bottled it and sold it, you know. And made my fortune.
Yeah.
So I'm a very positive person.
Yeah.
I really like being busy, but busy doing things that I like.
Yeah.
So the most important thing for me is to focus on doing things that are enjoyable. Also, I think it's good to focus on things that you're good at. And if you're not so good at things, obviously you can work on those in the background, but try and really get the things that you're really good at to be, you know, the things that people see and they shine out. So that's what I would encourage other people to do as well. Certainly what I've encouraged my children to do. So to do things that they're really passionate about and that they love, rather than and not perhaps the traditional. My husband and I, we're not the traditional parents that are saying, you know, you've got to get your A's at A level, and then you've got to go and get your degree, then your masters, and then you're in something that perhaps they're not even interested in. So we've never done that, and what's happened is they've ended up doing things that they're extremely passionate about and good at.
Yeah.
So and they have their educational qualifications and they can go back to them later, but right now they're doing what they love. So,
nice. Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. And so maybe you've had to make a number of challenges. I mean, you've met a number of challenges and sacrifices along the way. Maybe you can talk about that. The journey might have been, you know, not so easy, but then you've made it and paved your way through. Maybe you can talk a bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think any journey, whether it's a life journey or a career journey, has its ups and downs. I think the important thing for me has always been that I've had the support of my husband. He's you know, we've been to 7, 8 countries in the last sort of 20 years. So to be able to do that and move around and still achieve some stability, you know, within the family, it's a really important thing. So over the last number of years, you know, we've moved to different countries, we've had to sort of reset the family way of life
every time.
But it's been fantastic. I think if you were to ask either my husband or the children, you know, would they change anything? I don't think they would. They've really enjoyed this lifestyle as well, and the opportunities that are moving around with BAT has brought has, you know, been amazing. It's rich cultural experiences for the children. Because of social media these days, they're still in contact with all of their friends that they've had in different countries. Whereas I think before it would have been a very sort of hard stop. You know, if you left
somebody you left, moved, totally.
That was it.
Yeah.
These days they're all talking to one another. People that they lived with in Egypt when they were 6, 7, 8 years old. They're friends on Facebook and Insta. It's amazing.
Okay.
So so I think that, I mean, for me personally, as a working mum, you know, the thing that was really helpful for me is I've had the same nanny for the whole time.
The whole time?
So she's moved with us.
20?
Yes.
All those years. Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I call her my magic formula. So she's Nigerian. She's moved with us when we went to Egypt, when we went to South Africa. When the boys were a little bit older and they went to boarding school in England, she didn't move with us then, but she'd come over a few times a year and you know, to be with them and make them look So if I was travelling or we had to move again, she'd be the one that would give the boys the stability, allow me to focus on the work in the short term, because you need to when you starting afresh.
Yeah.
But I knew that she was at home with the boys, so really she's like the 5th grandparent now.
Nice.
So,
okay. Interesting. So that makes me ask you this question about work-life balance. You know, you juggle a lot. I can imagine maybe you've left here, you get home, there are emails to catch up on, or there are calls that are still coming in, and you still have to be present as a mom, as a wife, and also now you're the boss of every other person. So do you think it's possible to have work-life balance, or how are you managing it?
I do think it's possible, and I think I've got better at it the older you get.
Yeah, okay.
So you try to be perfect at everything when you're younger, and you know, when you're first married, or you have your first child, particularly the first child, you think everything has to be perfect, and it doesn't. So I think by the time the second child comes along, you've learnt a lot, and you can be a little bit more relaxed.
That's
you
true.
You don't need to freak out about everything. But I mean, for me personally, I try to give 100% at whatever I'm doing at that time.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, I need to find some balance. So for me, I need to find some personal time. You know, and I do my own sport because my our whole family is, you know, pretty sport obsessed.
Yeah.
So I need to find time to do that because that's what sort of allows me to find personal balance. With my husband, I still go home and cook the dinner. So I really like cooking, thankfully.
So you cook Nigerian food?
I like cooking.
You can cook Nigerian food?
I try to avoid it. It's very high maintenance.
Yeah, it is.
It's a lot of blending. So actually he's good at cooking his own food, as in Nigerian food.
Yeah.
But we've trained our Kenyan housekeeper to make Nigerian food. So, you know, you should never think that you can do everything all of the time perfectly. You know, you have to make a few compromises along the way. And at those times when you think, oh, you know, I should be giving 110% to my children at home. If you ask my children now, you know, do they remember when I was having to travel because my job used to take me to different countries in West Africa or wherever we were at the time? You know, I was beating myself up at the time about going, and they don't even remember. So now they go to me, you know, did we really sort of hang on to your legs as you were going to the airport? And I'm like,
yeah, you did.
And they're like, but we don't remember.
You're just emotional at that time, and then
they're very well adjusted.
Kids move on,
boys, you know, and always have been.
Yeah.
So I think that if you can create a happy home environment with some stability, you can then give 100% to the job. You know, whilst you're in the office. But when I go home, I was giving 100% to the children. Obviously, being in Africa, when you have a little bit of infrastructure around you, you know, so I had the nanny, and you have somebody in the house who's doing the ironing and all of that. It means that I could spend all of my time at home with the children. Which is, if you're in England, you can't do that. You go home, you start cooking the dinner, you have to iron, you put the washing on,
have to
start cleaning the house
and
because you don't have anybody to help you.
That's true. Yeah.